Hey folks, this is Ardwulf. Welcome. This is an unboxing video. Today we are going to unbox this game, Saipan, the Bloody Rock. This is part of the CSS or company scale system. And this was actually the first game that was released. It is also the first game in the sub-series for the Marianas campaign. There are, unless I'm forgetting about one, 3 games in this series. Now, Saipan is Volume 1. Guam is Volume 2. There is some video on my channel on Guam if you want to dig back and check that out. Guam is the biggest, Saipan is the second biggest, and the third game is Tinian. Now, if you know anything about this campaign, and I'm not Mr. Expert, but Saipan and Tinian are right next to each other. So you can put this 2-map game together with the 1-map Tinian game and play the whole thing together. There is an updated rulebook, unless I'm very much mistaken, on the Compass Games website. I had some issues with the rulebook in Volume 2, which was Guam. I think there's a quite good game in here, but I want to use more recent versions of the rules. This will have the original rulebook. This was a release in 2016, is that right? 2017. And series designer Adam Starkweather, game designer Ross Mortel. We have here two 10-sided, these aren't 20-sided dice, why did I almost say that? In Christmas colors, I'm not sure why. Let's put those back in the box. We have a 2017 Compass Games catalog, which is out of date, although some of that stuff's still available. Let's take a look at the contents of the box. We have the rules of play. This is a looks like full color matte finish rule book on reasonably heavy paper. This is, as far as like paper stock printing, that kind of thing, this is a perfect rule book. The print is relatively large. It looks like we're at about 44 pages, 46 pages, something like that. 48 pages, of which looks like they're pretty much all rules. We do have a bibliography in the back, which is always a great thing to have. That way, if you're like, hey, I am now super interested in this topic, you can actually go and look at some of the sources that the designer was at least inspired by. So I always like to see that. And to be honest, I think it's a little tacky when games don't have that, unless they are completely superficial types of games. We have a player aid on the back of the rule book. Hopefully that's duplicated somewhere. And we have a scenario book. Now, there are multiple scenarios here. There are, in fact, 6 scenarios. They all have setup maps and setup cards that show you. I gotta say, I would have preferred these to be on, I guess you could just copy them and just lay them out yourself. I'd have preferred these to be on separate cards rather than in the book. Because that's the pain, especially when you have a couple of fairly huge scenarios here, and one of which is the entire campaign for Saipan. So we have like an example of play in here or something like that. I'm not seeing that. Okay, we have some historical notes, which is cool. Designer's notes. Do we have an example of play? I'm going to say that if there is no comprehensive example of play, that does not make me happy. Fortunately, this charts and tables thing is on a separate player aid, so that's good. This was the first game in the series, so I should actually sit down with Tinian, which is the most recent game in this particular subsequence, and see if it has a comprehensive example of play, because it certainly ought to. So as you have in most of these, there's a lot of displays with this system. So we have a US display. We got a couple different US displays here, and we have a general display which tracks the turn and the victory points and the weather and that kind of stuff. So we have 4 formations here, 2 US Army Infantry divisions and 2 United States Marine Corps divisions. We have that, and then we got some Japanese displays. We got Japanese Imperial Navy, and then what looks like a 47th Independent Mixed Brigade and the 43rd Infantry Division, plus 2 of these charts and tables cards with TEC on the back. I like what I've seen of this. Holy cow, there's a lot of counters in here. So there's two maps, and I'm not going to be able to show you the entire map set up, but there's two maps, and I will bust one out. Now this is on a pretty glossy stock, and this level of glossy stock always makes me concerned because it tends to not fold and unfold well. And in fact, you can see, and I don't know if I just did this or not, there is an ugly crease right here. That may have been there. I may have just put that in. I have no idea. These are going to need to be flattened under plexi. I do like the art on these maps, as I do in all the games in the series that I have seen. So I have no complaints on that account, but this also the map's super glossy. I mean, I think that doesn't make much difference because you're going to put these under plexi anyway. These, of course, are the landing zones. But the fairly heavy paper with the really glossy, shiny finish, not a fan of that. I think that won't wear well. We have 6 counter sheets, and these are 5/8 inch counters, and they're color coded by formation. So right here we've got what looks like, okay, 29th Infantry Division. Does that sound right? Probably not. Those are probably regiments. We've got some more. These are Japanese. These are U.S. These are probably the Marines, actually. And in fact, they totally are the Marines. U.S. Army, some Japanese, unit markers. This is a company scale game, since it is called, after all, the company scale system. We have markers in a lurid purple and bonsai charges and stuff. It's a very dark purple. With pretty small print for 5/8 inch counters for that matter. Although these general markers, I don't think that's terribly important. You can see the number easily enough. That's the one you need to know off that. Smoke markers and foxholes and caves. This is, of course, the Pacific War. And then you get your disorganized level markers. It looks like we have those in 2 different colors, presumably for the 2 different sides. That's interesting as well. This is a system that I think has a lot of potential, and it does have its fans, so I really want to try it. I had Guam already, so that was the game I did the video on, but at least if you're going to stick with, well, actually, no, not even. The whole series so far, the best introductory game is almost certainly going to be Tinian, because it's only 1 map. So, if you would like to see an unboxing of that, well, stay tuned, because I picked that up too. This has been an unboxing of Saipan the Bloody Rock from Compass Games designer Ross Mortel, series designer Adam Starkweather. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, and leave me any questions or comments in the comments below. I want to thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.